Good morning. We are going to try our best to make an omelet today. People think that making omelets is a very simple thing, and it really is a very simple thing if you just follow a few very basic rules that will keep you out of trouble and will keep things from getting too complicated. First thing we're going to need is hardware, and the second thing we're going to need is software. So the first hardware and the big thing we're going to need is a 12-inch nonstick pan. The 12-inch is an 8-inch nonstick pan. You can see it is black, so the black means that it's nonstick. It has a special surface on it where eggs won't stick to it. There are other types of pans, like this one right here, that are stainless steel. And stainless steel is good for things like pork chops or frying chicken or cooking a steak, because you can pop the whole thing right into the oven when you're done frying with it. But it's really not good for cooking eggs because it'll stick, and omelets you have to slide around and move a bunch. So you don't want to use this. You want to stick with your nonstick. So next bit of hardware we're going to need is a spatula. I like silicone. This one is a very fancy one, has plaid on it. Silicone spatulas are great because they will not burn. They're rather bendy, so they can get into the cracks and the sides of a pan and really help you move things around without things getting stuck. And your eggs won't stick to this either. Some people will make pot holders out of silicone, or they'll actually make whole pans out of silicone as well. That's how heat resistant they are, even though they're made out of like a rubbery plastic material. You're going to need a fork. I shouldn't need to explain to you what a fork is. A fork is a fork. You're going to need a bowl. I like a shallow bowl. That's just me. And you're going to need a plate to put everything on when you're done. Okay? So, first things first, get the pan going. Oh, right. We need to get that with software, don't we? So, software, we're going to need some cheese. I like the Mexican-style blend from Kroger. I'm partial to Kroger because they're near my house, and we don't have Giant Eagles down in Zanesville, so Kroger. Eggs, I have the fancy eggs today because all the other eggs were out all over town. A little bit of butter. We're going to need about a tablespoon of this stuff, and then salt and pepper, but that should go without saying. So first thing, we're going to take our pan and put it on medium-high heat. So if your stove has numbers on it, you want it to be on the 8 or so, or if you only have words on your stove, then you can put it on medium or medium-high, something like that. You don't want it to be too hot, because if you cook it too hot, your eggs are going to overcook, and then the proteins in them are going to bind up, and it's going to be rubbery and watery and really, really gross instead of light and fluffy and delicious. While this is heating, we can get started on our eggs. So put our bowl down. We're going to do 3 eggs today. 3 eggs. Try to work clean as best you can. So clean up after yourself as you go. You don't want food lying out. You don't want food getting warm, getting old, because that's how you get sickness, and that's not good. You ever had food poisoning? It's terrible. I've had it once before, and it's awful. No, sorry, take that back. I've had it twice before. It's awful. You can hear people laughing downstairs. So, the way you crack an egg. You don't want to crack it on the edge of the bowl. Some people like to crack it on the edge of the bowl like this. When you do that, you actually send little tiny bits of egg inside of send little tiny bits of shell inside of the egg. And they're really hard to get out. I like to crack it on the counter, because when you do that, it makes this nice little spider web of crack. You can stick your 2 thumbs right in there, like this, and just pull it apart, and the egg comes right out. Perfect crack. Again, crack, 2 thumbs, pull apart. Boom. And if you really, really, really want to get fancy with it, you can do it with one hand, like I like to do, but that's just me. I've also been, cooking forever. Wash your hands, because raw eggs are not really a good thing to have in a kitchen. Most cases, of sickness that you get from raw eggs actually come from little tiny farms, not big farms. But it's still a good practice just in case. And in case you ever do come across eggs, you don't know where your eggs are coming from, or you don't know how long you've had your eggs. Or if you're working in a restaurant like I used to work in, you don't know how long they were out. So just a good idea to wash your hands and make sure your eggs are cooked thoroughly. Okay. So you break your yolks with your fork like this, and you stir. You don't want to go back and forth like this when you stir. That's not going to do anything. You want to go in a circle like this as fast as you can without making a gigantic mess, because that way you'll get a good mix on your eggs, and they'll all look the same. There won't be any streaks of white or streaks of yolk. It'll all be the same color, and that'll be good for even cooking. When you're at this stage right here, you can go ahead and add your salt and pepper. Salt. When you add salt and pepper at this stage, it's a little better because this way you don't get chunks of salt and chunks of pepper. You can kind of get the whole thing seasoned the same throughout. So let's go ahead and mix it in. Beautiful thing right there. Look at that. So fork goes in the sink because it's dirty. We'll come back to that. Oh, right. Some people, when they mix eggs like that, they like to use something called a whisk. This is a whisk. I don't like to for two reasons. The first one is that it's kind of hard to get the whisk inside of a bowl and to the edges. It's sort of a big clunky thing. It's like trying to cut up a steak with a broadsword. It just doesn't feel right. But also these little tiny bits in here are a real pain to try to clean, especially when you're working with eggs and there's a lot of protein. If it dries on there, you're never getting it off. So I like to use a fork instead of this, even though this might be a better job. Just stick with the fork. This is really good for things like whipped creams, dressings, like salad dressings, which we'll talk about later, or frosting. This is really good for frosting. But we don't need that for now. Back in the tool belt. So, we have this going. Let's go ahead and put about a tablespoon of butter in here. That's about that much right there. It looks like a lot. We actually want a lot because it's going to be seasoning and adding flavor as well as making the surface not sticky. So it's going to give us some lubrication on the pan, so when we get the eggs in there, they won't all stick together. They'll actually kind of slide off. So you want to take the butter and kind of swirl it around like this. Try to get it as much on the sides of the pan as you possibly can, because we're going to be using the sides of the pan to slide it right off onto the plate instead of trying to fumble with spatulas and serving devices. There's two different kinds of spatulas. There's this kind of spatula, which we talked about earlier, and then this kind of spatula. Don't get them confused, because this right here will screw up your nonstick pan. It'll make it impossible to use anymore. It won't be nonstick. This is what we're using right here, okay? So, eggs go into the pan, slowly. You don't want that to splatter everywhere. You notice that it's got a sort of a little bit of a bubble to it, but not much, right? Get closer, you can take a look. It's not frying and spitting everywhere, so you want to take the edge of the pan and pull in with the eggs, like this. We're doing the middle right here, this part is called a curd. We're trying to make a curd out of the eggs so that when we add stuff to it, it's as nice and evenly cooked. Okay, so when you get about 70% cooked, you can see how it doesn't really jiggle that much anymore. You want to stop right there. A little bit right here, maybe. Yeah, okay, like that. You want to stop right there. Let it sit for 2 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finish up cooking, and you're going to want to come in with your trusty cheese and just cheese the top half like that. So cheese on this half, but not on this half. So down near the handle, you don't want any cheese. And I'll show you why here in a second. So, your omelet is currently finished and cooking. If it's going to be cooked in the pan, eggs are going to be overcooked when they get to the plate. So you want your eggs to be slightly undercooked when you pull them off the pan, because the residual heat from the stove is going to help them go the rest of the way in the cooking. Okay, eggs are pretty delicate stuff. You don't want to overcook them. Okay, so here's the tricky part. You have your plate right here, yeah. You have your eggs right here. Most people want to slide it off like this and have that be their omelet, or use a spatula to flip and then slide it off. That's not going to work. What you're going to do is take your spatula and run it along the inside as best you can, if you can. If you can't, it's not a big deal. And then shake it like this. You see how it kind of jumps out a little bit? You see that? I see that. And then instead of grabbing like this, flip it upside down. Flip your hand upside down and grab it like this, okay? So then you want to come to the plate, slide it off about halfway, and slide it, use your pan to flip it over the rest of the way. And that is how you make a proper omelet. Okay, pretty easy. If you want to, you can garnish with a little bit of parsley, which is what I like to do. Over the plate too. A little bit pretty on it. Oh, in France, this would be called an omelette du fromage, which means cheese omelet. If you want to add herbs like parsley and oregano and what else is in here? Some tarragon. Ooh, tarragon would be great in an omelet. Tarragon, right? All these things, these leafy herbs, these all would be great in an omelet. And if you do that, it would be called an omelette d'herbe. I don't speak French, but I understand it's something like that. You want to stay away from big spices like cloves would not be good. Nutmeg would not be good. Thyme leaves, even though they're leaves, I would stay away from them because they're sort of woody and crunchy and like sticks when you eat them. It's not what you want in an omelet. If you have any questions about the herbs you can put in it or you can't put in it, just shoot me a message and we'll talk about it. So, your pan is off and off the heat. Your omelet is done. Look at that. Pretty, right? Easy peasy. Okay, great. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. I really super duper hope you give this a shot. I think there's great potential in a proper omelet being made. It's a great skill to have. I've actually known professional cooks who, when they hire people for their kitchen, they have them make an omelet. That's like their test. Because it's such a fundamental, simple skill that there's really no reason everyone shouldn't know how to make it. Do you have any questions? Give me a message or a call, but happy cooking.